The fight between the Blue Roses on one side and Entoma on the other was one of the strangest and most unnecessary battles in Overlord, simply because, fundamentally, both sides were on the same team. However, it also represented one of the rare moments where troops from the Great Tomb of Nazarick, including one of the Pleiades' battle maids, were defeated by regular people from the New World. I understand that both Gagarin and Tina are extremely strong in the context of the New World. Adamantite-ranked individuals, people with levels in the mid to high 20s, are extremely rare, and there were probably only a few dozen individuals in the entire kingdom, which once had 10 million inhabitants, who could reach that level. But at least they reached it naturally, without Yggdrasil items, without power leveling, and without player blood flowing through their veins. Evileye, even though she accidentally became undead due to a spell from Cure Elim Los Malvar, has gathered 200 years of experience and strength, allowing her to reach a level where she could defeat a likely NPC opponent from Yggdrasil Online, the so-called insect god. Hence, she had the perfect counter for Entoma. Entoma, on the other hand, was not prepared for a fight, but was on what could be described as an escort mission. Specifically, her task was to search the villa where Mare had broken in for important documents, clues, valuables, and papers, and take them while Mare dealt with Hilma and took her away. By the end of this mission, the demons had already flown out, and Entoma was about to leave the villa, snack in hand, when she was confronted by Gagarin and Tina. Here, the two made a fatal mistake in choosing to fight Entoma. Not only was Entoma uninterested in a fight, and clearly stronger than the two, but she also just wanted to complete her mission. However, Gagarin wasn't exactly the detective of the Blue Roses, and Tina unfortunately didn't understand or attempt to ask about the background of why the maid was carrying an arm, or what exactly she was doing there, or who she was loyal to. The assassin failed to gather enough information about her opponent beforehand, which stands in stark contrast to the strategy of Ans Ual Gaun. On the other hand, Entoma also failed to call for help in time. The city was full of demons, meaning her fight would not go unnoticed, so another Shaltir situation was ruled out. But the demons, of course, needed time to realize what was going on and to question why Entoma had not returned or where she had gone. As mentioned, not only Mare but also Entoma and the demons were under time pressure. Therefore, without Tina's provocations, Entoma would not have been so willing to engage in the fight. Entoma tends to think more in terms of a predator-prey relationship. For instance, she even asked Yuri Alpha if she could spin her prey into a web in the cabin block leading to the Great Tomb of Nazarick, which of course was denied. Entoma also got hungry when she saw the defeated soldiers outside the gates of the Great Tomb, and was cautioned not to snack on Ainz Uulgaun's prisoners. Someone like Yuri Alpha, who is more composed, could have possibly de-escalated the situation, and Lupus Regina Beta would have probably also tried her best to redirect her sadism towards more productive goals. While Solution Epsilon probably wouldn't have been noticed as an opponent at all, Entoma made the mistake of clearly identifying herself as an enemy by holding a human arm in her hand and nibbling on it like a chicken wing. In the end, both sides could have avoided a battle that neither of them truly wanted. This led to Entoma's defeat. The reason she survived wasn't due to her own strength, but rather because Demiurge realized what had happened. Presumably, the demons had reported to him that Entoma was missing, and Demiurge deduced that something had gone wrong. He rescued Entoma Vasilisa Zeta at the last second because Tina was already preparing to deliver the finishing blow. This event branded the Blue Roses as enemies of the Sorcerer King. The real tragedy, however, lies elsewhere. Evileye, Gagarin, and Tina on one side, and Entoma Vasilisa Zeta on the other, fought each other. But if you zoom out a bit and look at what was actually supposed to happen, it becomes clear that this fight was unnecessary. Entoma and Evileye were essentially on the same side. Both Evileye and the Blue Roses, as well as Entoma and the forces of the Great Tomb of Nazarick, had the same goal. From the perspective of the Blue Roses, Climb, and Renner's view, the only way to effectively fight the Eight Fingers now was to break the law and act outside of legal boundaries, which they were technically forbidden to do, namely through vigilantism combined with the violation of the Neutrality Act of the Guild, to which the Blue Roses were bound. At the beginning of Volume 5, we saw that the Blue Roses openly attacked the operations bases of the Eight Fingers to gather information and to further combat the power of this organization and target its leadership. On the other hand, the entire demon invasion, including the appearance of Jaldabaoth and the many raids, occurred because the Eight Fingers dared to kidnap Tuar, who was under the personal protection of Ainz Ual Gaun. This led to one of the rare moments when Ainz, despite his emotions being suppressed and not being able to feel strong emotions like rage, asked Albedo in anger to avenge this heinous attack on his friends. Originally, Jaldabaoth and his demons were not only supposed to force the Eight Fingers to submit to Nazarick, but they were also meant to completely eliminate them. However, Demiurge recognized how useful it would be to have an organization with a network that had already infiltrated and corrupted the entire underworld and parts of the aristocracy. That's why the plan was adapted. In other words, the entire fight was unnecessary from both sides and led to evileye and company securing the wrath of the Sorcerer King. Their escape from the collapsing kingdom of Riestes at the end of Volume 14 or Season 4 was a very wise decision, considering what Ainz did to the Eight Fingers,